Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Learnify channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing something slightly different. I'm going to be going over some extended essay tips for the IB. Now, for these tips, of course, you know that extended essay is very individualized. You're trying to select from a wide range of subjects and you find your own research area, which is often not even something that's very well researched upon. I'm trying to include tips that are going to be very generalized and some things that you can all implement. Just keep in mind that some of them maybe might not be applicable to you as much as it might be for someone else. Before we do get started, make sure you guys like this video and leave a comment down below saying any feedback, any new content you want me to cover, and subscribe and join the Learnify channel, Learnify team. So without further ado, let's get started. So my first tip stems from the idea that the EE is going to be due in a very time pressured period of your life. So for me, I remember I had the UCAT on my talk essay, a lot of other IAs due at the same exact time. On top of that, we had exam block. I had my out of school commitments. I had to play sport, all that stuff committed together. All that packed together means that you're going to be going through a hectic time. So your EE needs to be done early. And one of the things that takes the longest amount of time in terms of EE is selecting your topic. Now, I want to be very careful here. When I mean taking time to quickly select a topic and finalize on it, I mean emphasis on the finalized part. What I want you guys to do is you'll have an EE coordinator, someone who's running your subject. I want you guys to confirm the topic uh, through like your rationale about behind why you're exploring the topic and confirm that with your teacher as soon as possible because I don't want you guys just to pick one topic and then just start writing and then fast forward a few days. Let's say, for example, chemistry. You start doing the experiment and you stuff up, realizing it's a dud, then you have to restart again. That's a terrible, terrible waste of time. What I want you guys to do is actually just figure out a topic, then confirm it and finalize with your teacher who's an expert in that field, and that should let you know which topic to do, and that way you're going to be working as effectively as you can. This one is also similar to a first tip in that it's all about time management. I recommend finding your data early. So let's say, for example, it's secondary source data. You're doing some data research. You're finding data online from previous studies. I recommend you find that data very soon because say you picked a topic and you're looking around and you don't find any data, well, you're going to stuff up because you have no data. And that might be an integral part of your EE based on what it is. And also, if let's say, for example, you're doing an experiment like chemistry or bio, I recommend doing your experiment as soon as possible because just in case your experiment doesn't work, right, something goes wrong, you have time to restart. But on a more positive note, you'll have data that you can analyze sooner and you can finish writing your EE as soon as you can. For me, I remember in our school we had the option to do our EE assessment um, what do you call it, the experiment a bit earlier in terms of if you were able to commit that time and you were done with your exams. And I remember I think I remember just like speeding through some of my exams just so I can do the EE because I thought it'll help me down the track, and it definitely did. Because I remember the lab technician gave me one of the incorrect chemicals, and that stuffed on my experiment for a very very long time. And if I hadn't started so early, would it might not have gone so well. Now, moving on to the next tip, it's all about structuring your essay. I believe that even though the EE is not meant to be like an IA, using an IA structure, if you're not given an EE structure, that is. So sometimes your teachers will give you an EE structure. I remember in chemistry, we really couldn't write it, and we didn't really get an EE structure, but I remember using the IA structure and tweaking things a bit. Generally, you can just ask your teacher, hey, what's the difference between this EE that I'm doing and this IA that I've written in the past, and could you tell me how I can modify it? That'll generally help you out. And I think this is important because having that clear structure prevents, firstly, writing block, but also ensures that your writing is concise and coherent, helping you score your marks. The next thing I want to talk about is scoring in the analysis part. For me, I remember I got an A in my chemistry EE, and for me, the analysis part got me some good marks. Well, I was predicted pretty good marks in the analysis based on what my teachers saw, And this was because I realized that if you do a bit of research on like special tests you can do for um, the data you collect, you can generally find some complicated tests that'll show the IB examiners that you're going above and beyond, and this will help with establishing that difference, that contrast between the IA and the EE, and this will help with the analysis. For example, I'd do like special T tests. I'd seen those somewhere online, so I just did a couple of those in my EE, and this helped me score really good marks in the analysis section. And I think that's something you guys can do to get yourself an A as well. The last but definitely not least tip is to pick something you enjoy, and this is very important because the EE is going to be something you spend a lot of time involving yourself in, and you're going to hear a lot of debate about, oh, this subject is good for the EE, this subject isn't, don't pick this one, oh, I heard this person, they're the only person to get an A in that subject, or the A percentage is low. You'll hear all that stuff, but pick something you enjoy. I remember a lot of people picked bio in my grade because bio had like the highest percentage of A's, whereas I picked chemistry, which I really liked, and chemistry still had a decent what do you call it, rate of A's, but I picked something I enjoyed because I knew that instead of the bio one, I'd be engaging a lot more in data analysis in the chemistry one. Also, I knew that from like my past experiences picking IA topics that bio was very difficult to find an IA topic for, so I sort of thought, oh, you know what, the EE is going to be even more difficult, so I may as well pick chemistry because chemistry is a bit easier for me to find. So picking something you enjoy is very important because you're going to be spending more time in it. Having a passion would be really helpful. But then again, I am saying that from a slightly biased perspective, I guess, because I did like Chem and Chem had a good ratio of A's. Whereas I remember Econ, I was debating on whether to do it or not. But Econ had a very low rate of A's, so it might be a bit hypocritical for me to say just pick something you enjoy solely based on your passions and not the grades. So keep it balanced, but pick something you wouldn't hate doing. Like for me, I wouldn't pick English because English E's would just suck. I didn't really like IB English. But yeah, other than that, that's going to be it for this video, guys. So, like I said, I did score an A in my EE in 2022 chemistry, and I want you guys to follow these steps as well if you want to maximize your chances of getting an A. Yeah, like, subscribe, comment down below. See you later in the next video. Peace.